Now on your screen is a pedigree and it is maternal. So remember mitochondrial inheritance. So this question also came in AIMS exam 2019. AIMS May 19. Question was, all the children of affected mother are affected, none of the affected father. So remember maternal inheritance is mitochondrial. Maternal inheritance is mitochondrial. Okay. So maternal inheritance. So let's take you to what are the examples of mitochondrial inheritance. So remember the examples of mitochondrial inheritance. Number one is MELAS. MELAS. Okay, MELAS. Myoclonic epilepsy and ragged red fibers. MELA stands for mitochondrial encephalopathy, lactic acidosis, and stroke-like episodes. Leber's hereditary optic neuropathy. Lee's disease. Keene-Sayre syndrome. NARP. NARP. So N stands for neuropathy. A stands for ataxia. And RP stands for retinitis pigmentosa. Remember, there are many other examples. A chronic progressive ophthalmoplegia is also mitochondrial. A chronic progressive ophthalmoplegia is also mitochondrial. Then remember, Pearson syndrome is also mitochondrial. Pearson syndrome. And lastly, deafness in children, which is because of aminoglycosides. All of the patients, they blame us. Doctor, you gave amikacin to my child became deaf. But actually the deafness which occurs because of aminoglycosides is also mitochondrially inherited. Coming to the next question. The next question is, Prader-Willi and Angelman syndrome are because of genomic imprinting, because of which chromosome? So remember, they are because of imprinting on chromosome number 15q 11 to 13 deletion. So remember this deletion, if you get from the father, from the pa, this child leads to Prader-Willi syndrome. So what is genomic imprinting? So remember, if you get the deletion from the pa on your screen here, you are getting a deletion on chromosome number 15 from the pa. This leads to Prader-Willi syndrome. If you get the deletion from the pa, it causes Prader-Willi syndrome. And if you get the same deletion from your ma, chromosome number 15, child gets Angelman syndrome. So remember, genomic imprinting is defined as differential expression based on the parent. So expression is based on the parent. If you get it from the pa, child becomes a fat child. Prader-Willi is a fat child. It is the most common genetic obesity in children. Prader-Willi is the most common genetic obesity. This child has severe neonatal hypotonia, small hands and feet, and mental retardation. Severe neonatal hypotonia, obese child. On the other hand, Angelman is happy puppet. This is also called happy puppet. Remember, these children are known for their laughter. They are always laughing. So it's also called happy puppet syndrome. They're normal at birth, but subsequently develop seizures, mental retardation, and ataxia. Okay? Now remember, all of you, that there are many syndromes in which we see genomic imprinting. So remember, all of you, there are 8 known imprinting disorders all over the world. I want to tell you all of these 8. So remember, there are 8 known imprinting disorders. And maybe I'll just zoom it for you. Don't worry, I'll just zoom it for you. I'll just tell you 8 known imprinting disorders. Pseudo-hypoparathyroid 1B, Wang syndrome, Prader-Willi, Angelman, okay, Temple syndrome, transient neonatal diabetes mellitus, Beckwith-Wiedemann syndrome, and Silver-Russell syndrome. Very important for every AIMS exam. Silver-Russell syndrome and Beckwith-Wiedemann syndrome. Okay, coming to the next question. So we said the answer here is deletion on the chromosome number 15q. Remember, even nesidioblastosis is also inherited by genomic imprinting. It's a pancreatic tumor on the chromosome number 15 again. So nesidioblastosis is also imprinting. Okay. Now, when does a child identify his needs by pointing? So I will be showing you in every grand test a table from Nelson's textbook. So it says at 15 months. So at 15 months, a child indicates his needs by pointing. So let's take you to the important table from the Nelson's textbook, which is there in your explanations also. So remember, at 15 months, today we'll just talk about 15 months. According to the Nelson's textbook, a child can make a tower of 3 cubes, speaks jargon, indicates his needs by pointing. His vocabulary is around 2 to 3 words. At 15 months, his vocabulary is around 2 to 3 words. At 18 months, he can make a tower of 4. He has a 10-word vocabulary at 18 months. He can run well at 18 months. So the answer to this question was 15 months.